Hello there, and welcome to Drowsy Discoveries. Tonight, we'll be drifting into the ancient and breathtaking world of the rainforest, where the air is thick and warm and the trees stretch so high they seem to hold up the sky. These forests are not just collections of plants and animals, they are living, breathing worlds, the oldest and most complex ecosystems our planet has ever produced. They have been here for over 100 million years, long before us, long before almost everything we know. Close your eyes and imagine a place where it is always green, always warm, always alive, where the sound of rain on leaves never fully stops, and the air itself seems to hum. In the rainforest, life moves at its own pace. Some things grow slowly, reaching upward over decades toward a light they may never fully reach. Others vanish in a single night, here only long enough to bloom. There is more life in 1 square kilometer of rainforest than in most entire countries, and much of it has never been seen by human eyes. But for now, there is nothing you need to do but relax. Allow yourself to get comfortable. Allow your mind to settle. And as the day begins to gently fade away, join me as we drift into the green, into the quiet, into one of the most extraordinary places on Earth. If you enjoy these journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, and drop a thought below. Let's begin. Rainforests cover only about 6% of Earth's land surface, and yet, within that 6%, more than half of all the world's plant and animal species have made their home. The Amazon rainforest alone produces roughly 20% of the world's oxygen. It is, in every sense, the breathing heart of our planet. In a single hectare of rainforest, you might find 450 different species of trees. That is more than exist across the entire continent of North America. The tallest trees in the rainforest push 60 meters into the sky. Standing at the base and looking up, they appear to disappear into the clouds above. Because nutrients are locked near the soil's surface rather than deep underground, rainforest trees have developed remarkably shallow root systems, spreading wide instead of reaching down. At the base of many great rainforest trees, enormous root structures spread outward like the fins of a rocket. These buttress roots can span several meters, anchoring the giant against wind and gravity. The canopy overhead is so tightly woven that a single raindrop, falling from the very top, can take up to 10 minutes to reach the forest floor. Look closely at the trunk of a rainforest tree, and you will find it is rarely bare. Moss, algae, and tiny plants coat the bark in layers of soft, living green. The Brazil nut tree cannot reproduce without one specific species of large-bodied bee. Remove that bee and the tree faces extinction. In the rainforest, everything depends on everything else. Some of the trees standing in the rainforest today have been alive for over 1,000 years. They were already ancient when the first European explorers arrived on this continent. Between 100 and 400 inches of rain falls on tropical rainforests every year. The air itself is heavy with moisture, and the sound of water is almost constant. Rainforests do not simply receive rain, they generate it. Water evaporates from millions of leaves, rises into the atmosphere, and falls again. The forest is its own weather system. The Amazon River is fed by the rainfall of the surrounding forest, and it releases more fresh water into the ocean than any other river on Earth. It is a river unlike any other. While much of the world experiences dramatic shifts between seasons, temperatures inside a rainforest barely move, staying between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius throughout the year. Down on the forest floor, less than 2% of the sunlight that strikes the canopy actually arrives. It is a world of permanent, gentle shadow. Rainforests absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and lock it inside their trees and soil. They are one of the planet's most powerful defenses against a warming climate. About half of all the rainfall a rainforest receives was produced by the forest itself. It is a cycle of extraordinary efficiency. The forest drinks, breathes out, and drinks again. In the early morning, fog settles between the trees like something out of a dream. Warm, moist air meets the cooler night temperature, and the forest disappears into white. Cloud forests grow at high elevations where the trees are almost never free of mist. In these places, the boundary between the forest and the sky dissolves entirely. During heavy rain, the canopy acts as a living shield. It absorbs the force of the downpour, slowing each drop before it reaches the ground and preventing the soil from washing away. More than 2/3 of the world's known animal species live in tropical rainforests, and scientists believe the vast majority of species living there have never even been discovered. The sloth moves so slowly through the canopy that algae grows in its fur, giving the animal a greenish tint. It is not just camouflage, it is a small ecosystem in itself. Poison dart frogs advertise their toxicity through color: red, blue, yellow, orange. Each brilliant shade is a warning to any predator that dares come close. The harpy eagle is the apex predator of the canopy. With talons the size of a grizzly bear's claws, it can reach into the treetops and pull out a monkey or sloth mid-climb. Unlike most big cats, the jaguar actively seeks out water. It swims with ease, hunting fish, turtles, and caimans along the riverbanks of the Amazon. The glasswing butterfly has wings that are almost perfectly transparent. Drifting through beams of filtered light, it is nearly invisible, a ghost of the forest. Some rainforest ant colonies contain millions of individuals. With no central commander, they build bridges, wage wars, and farm their own food through collective intelligence alone. The Amazon river dolphin is pink, freshwater, and fully at home in the flooded forest. During the wet season, it navigates between the roots of submerged trees as naturally as it swims a river. In the rainforests of Southeast Asia, flying squirrels stretch a thin membrane of skin between their limbs and glide over 100 meters between trees, silent as paper. The okapi lives deep in the Congo rainforest and looks like nothing else on Earth, striped like a zebra below, brown like a horse above, and related most closely to the giraffe. It was unknown to Western science until 1900. Bats work through the night, pollinating flowers and scattering seeds across the forest floor. Without them, many of the trees that define the rainforest could not survive. The cassowary of New Guinea and Australia is a flightless bird that stands nearly 2 meters tall. It carries a bony helmet on its head and is considered among the most dangerous birds alive. Some rainforest spiders spin webs with silk as strong as steel wire, relative to its thickness. Their webs catch not just insects, but occasionally small birds, frogs, and mice. The tapir moves through the forest like a shadow, using its flexible, trunk-like snout to pull leaves and fruit from branches. It is one of the few large herbivores of the deep forest floor. The electric eel of the Amazon does not simply sting, it generates pulses powerful enough to stun a horse. It uses electricity to hunt, to navigate, and to communicate. The Rafflesia arnoldii produces the largest individual flower in the world, 1 meter across and smelling of rotting flesh. It has no stems, no leaves, and no roots. It lives entirely as a parasite inside another plant. There are over 25,000 known species of orchids in the world, and the majority of them are found in rainforests, clinging to branches, roots, and cliff faces. Many rainforest leaves end in a long, pointed drip tip. This single feature allows water to run off the leaf quickly, preventing mold and keeping the surface clean enough to absorb sunlight. The pitcher plant does not wait for nutrients to arrive. It creates a deep cup filled with digestive liquid and attracts insects inside, then slowly dissolves them. Bromeliads grow high in the canopy, collecting rainwater in a central cup. That tiny pool becomes its own world, home to frog eggs, insect larvae, and microscopic creatures found nowhere else. The strangler fig begins life as a seed deposited by a bird in the crook of a canopy tree. Over decades, its roots grow downward, wrapping around the host until the fig stands alone and the original tree is gone. The giant water lily of the Amazon, Victoria amazonica, grows leaves large enough and strong enough to support a small child. Each leaf floats perfectly balanced on the surface of the water. Lianas are woody vines that wind through the canopy for thousands of meters, connecting tree after tree in a tangled network that animals use as highways through the upper forest. Chocolate comes from the cacao tree, which grows naturally on the shadowed floor of the rainforest in exactly the kind of filtered, gentle light that the canopy above provides. Heliconia flowers look like the claws of a crustacean, waxy and vivid. Their shape has evolved over millions of years to match the curve of a hummingbird's beak, the only creature that can reach the nectar inside. Some rainforest plants flower only once in their entire lives. They spend decades in preparation, quietly storing energy, and then bloom in a single, extraordinary effort. Vanilla comes from a climbing orchid native to the rainforests of Mexico. In the wild, it is pollinated by a single species of bee and nothing else. The walking palm of Central and South America slowly shifts its position over time, growing new roots in the direction of more light. It does not walk quickly, but over years it moves. Certain rainforest mosses can absorb 20 times their own weight in water. They hold moisture in the soil the way a sponge holds water, slowly releasing it long after the rain has stopped. Along tropical coastlines, mangrove forests grow with their roots arching out of the salt water. Below the surface, those roots form dense, sheltered nurseries where young fish and crustaceans grow to adulthood. Scientists estimate there may be 30 million species of insects in the world's rainforests. Most have never been named, most have never been seen by human eyes. Leafcutter ants carry pieces of leaf 20 times their own body weight, back to their underground nests, where the leaves are used not for eating, but for growing fungus, their primary food source. The morpho butterfly's wings shimmer with an intense electric blue. That color comes not from pigment, but from microscopic structures on each scale that bend and scatter light like a prism. In parts of Southeast Asia, Entire trees full of fireflies flash in perfect synchrony throughout the night, thousands of lights pulsing as one, for reasons scientists still do not fully understand. The Titan beetle of the Amazon grows to nearly 17 centimeters in length. Its mandibles are strong enough to snap a pencil in half. Stick insects have perfected the art of stillness. Resting on a branch, they are indistinguishable from the wood itself, a performance of invisibility refined over millions of years. The bullet ant is named for what its sting feels like. Researchers who study pain describe the sensation as immediate and blinding, lasting up to 24 hours. Some rainforest caterpillars have evolved disguises so precise that they can convincingly imitate bird droppings, dead leaves, and broken twigs, whatever makes them least interesting to a predator. Dung beetles navigate by the Milky Way. On clear nights in the rainforest, they align themselves with the stars and roll their dung balls in a perfectly straight line. Termite mounds in some rainforests stand over 6 meters tall and house millions of individuals. Inside, the temperature remains almost constant year-round, regulated by a system of tunnels that functions like natural air conditioning. Over 1,500 species of birds live in the Amazon rainforest alone, roughly 1/3 of every bird species on Earth in a single forest. The resplendent quetzal was considered sacred by the Maya and Aztec peoples. Its tail feathers can reach 1 meter in length, trailing behind it like banners of green and gold fire. The toucan's outsized bill is not just decorative, it allows the bird to reach fruit on branches too thin to support its weight and acts as a radiator, releasing body heat in the tropical warmth. The hotzin is one of the stranger birds of the Amazon. It smells by most accounts like a compost heap, a quality that has earned it the lasting nickname, the stink bird. Macaws mate for life and some live for 60 years or more. They travel together, roost together, and call to each other in voices that carry across the entire canopy. The lyrebird of Australian rainforests can reproduce, with almost perfect accuracy, the sound of a chainsaw, a camera shutter, and the calls of dozens of other bird species. Male birds of paradise in New Guinea spend years mastering their courtship dances. They clear a personal stage on the forest floor and practice their moves long before any female arrives. The oilbird navigates the pitch-black interior of rainforest caves using echolocation, clicking sounds that bounce off the walls and return as a map of the darkness ahead. During flight, some hummingbirds' hearts beat over 1,000 times per minute. It is the fastest heartbeat of any warm-blooded animal on Earth. The scarlet macaw can crack open a hard palm nut with its beak, something that would require a pair of pliers for a human to accomplish. That beak is, pound for pound, one of the most powerful tools in the animal kingdom. The Amazon River carries so much sediment, dissolved minerals, and organic matter that it alters the color and chemistry of the Atlantic Ocean for hundreds of kilometers past its mouth. The Rio Negro runs dark as strong tea. Its color comes entirely from dissolved organic material leached from the surrounding forest, a river stained by the trees that feed it. During the wet season, parts of the Amazon floodplain disappear beneath 15 meters of water. The trees stand submerged for months, perfectly alive, fish swimming between their roots. The Amazon River basin holds approximately 20% of all the fresh water flowing across Earth's surface at any given moment in time. Piranhas have a reputation that exceeds the reality. They are, above all, scavengers, important cleaners of the river ecosystem, consuming the dead and dying before bacteria can spread. Over 3,000 species of fish are known to live in the Amazon. Scientists exploring its most remote tributaries continue to find species that have never been recorded. A caiman resting in the shallows barely disturbs the surface. Only its eyes are visible, watching the riverbank with a patience that has been refined over 200 million years of evolution. The Congo River is the deepest river in the world. In certain stretches, the water plunges more than 200 meters below the surface, deeper than most submarines dive. Giant river otters live in close family groups, with complex social bonds and a vocabulary of squeaks, whistles, and growls they use to coordinate hunts and care for their young. Water that evaporates from the Amazon rainforest travels on wind currents all the way to the Andes Mountains, where it falls as snow and feeds the glaciers that supply fresh water to millions of people. Indigenous peoples have lived within the world's rainforests for tens of thousands of years, developing an intimate, generational understanding of every plant, animal, and seasonal pattern within them. Over 50% of modern medicines trace their origins to rainforest plants. Aspirin, quinine, and several of the most important cancer-fighting drugs in existence began here. A small flower from the rainforests of Madagascar, the rosy periwinkle, led to the development of two drugs that transformed the survival rate for children with leukemia. Rubber, which made the modern tire, the industrial gasket, and countless other inventions possible, comes from the latex of a tree native to the Amazon rainforest. Experienced forest peoples read the rainforest the way others read a page of text, in broken branches, animal calls, the angle of light, and the particular smell of the air before rain. Some indigenous groups in the Amazon have chosen to remain entirely uncontacted, retreating deeper into the forest rather than engaging with the outside world. Their choice is protected by international law. The ayahuasca vine has been used in sacred healing ceremonies by Amazonian communities for centuries. Today, it is the subject of serious clinical research into depression, trauma, and addiction. Hundreds of distinct languages have evolved within the world's rainforests. Many contain words and concepts for describing the natural world that have no equivalent in any other language on Earth. Indigenous farming methods, rotating crops, cultivating diverse species together, returning nutrients to the soil, are increasingly being studied by modern scientists as models of truly sustainable agriculture. Archaeological research has revealed that the Amazon was once home to large, sophisticated civilizations that actively managed the forest. They left behind enriched dark soils known as terra preta that remain extraordinarily fertile to this day. As the sun drops below the canopy, the rainforest does not go quiet. The daytime chorus fades, and a new one begins, deeper, stranger, and in some ways, more alive. Tree frogs call through the night in overlapping layers, each species holding its own pitch and rhythm. Together, they create a sound that has filled these forests for hundreds of millions of years. Between the calls, the rainforest is never truly silent. There is always the soft drip of water from leaf to leaf, the slow creak of a branch settling, the hum of wings in the dark. Bioluminescent fungi grow on decaying logs along the forest floor, glowing with a faint, cold green light. In the deepest dark, they look like embers that forgot to go out. Owls move through the rainforest in almost perfect silence. The structure of their feathers is designed to muffle the sound of their own wings, so that nothing hears them coming. Each species of firefly flashes in its own distinct pattern, a private code pulsing through the darkness, invisible to anything that has not learned to read it. The slow loris moves through the canopy at night with such deliberate, careful precision that it is almost never heard. In the darkest hours it passes like a thought. Some rainforest moths navigate by moonlight, drifting through the night air toward flowers that opened only after dark, blooming quietly for creatures that come only when the world is asleep. Jaguars move most freely in the hours before dawn. In the deepest dark, their spotted coats merge with the shadows, and they pass through the forest as if they are part of it, which, of course, they are. And then, slowly, the light returns. One bird calls, then another, then the whole forest fills with sound, rising from silence into something ancient and full and endlessly alive. Another day begins in the rainforest, exactly as it has for millions of years. The world's tropical rainforests are not young places. They have existed in some form for over 100 million years, surviving ice ages, asteroid impacts, and the rise and fall of continents. New species are discovered in rainforests at a rate of roughly 1 every 2 days. Scientists believe we have catalogued less than 10% of what actually lives there. The soil beneath a rainforest is, paradoxically, among the poorest on Earth. Nearly all of the forest's nutrients are locked inside the living things themselves, not in the ground. When a great rainforest tree falls, it does not simply die. It becomes a nurse log, a slow-release source of nutrients that feeds hundreds of other organisms for decades. Some rainforest trees communicate through an underground network of fungi that connects their root systems. Nutrients, water, and even chemical warning signals travel between trees through this hidden web. The Daintree rainforest in Australia is the oldest rainforest on Earth, estimated to be 180 million years old, predating the dinosaurs of the Jurassic period. In a single square kilometre of rainforest, there may be more individual insects than there are human beings on the entire planet. Rainforest trees shed their leaves continuously throughout the year rather than all at once, so the forest floor is always receiving a steady, slow rain of fallen leaves. The roots of a single large rainforest tree can extend outward for 30 meters in every direction, invisibly claiming an enormous territory beneath the soil. Some rainforest trees produce fruit that can only be dispersed by animals that are now extinct. The fruit still falls, but no creature alive today is designed to spread its seeds. The Amazon rainforest releases over 20 billion tons of water vapor into the atmosphere every single day. Meteorologists call these invisible rivers flying rivers, and they shape rainfall patterns thousands of kilometers away. If you stood in the same spot in a rainforest for a full year, the temperature around you would vary by less than 5 degrees. It is one of the most climatically stable environments on Earth. The humidity inside a rainforest is so consistently high that many plants have almost abandoned the need to regulate water loss. Their leaves are permanently open, constantly breathing. During the dry season, the Amazon River drops by up to 14 meters in some locations, exposing vast beaches of white sand that disappear entirely when the rains return. Rainforest streams are often so clear they appear invisible. The water is highly acidic, very low in nutrients and nearly sterile, yet teeming with life adapted to exactly those conditions. The Borneo rainforest generates enough rainfall to fill Lake Superior every single year, from the moisture of its own trees alone. Waterfalls are common throughout rainforest landscapes, and the mist they generate creates permanently wet microhabitats, entire ecosystems that exist only within a few meters of the falling water. Some of the rivers that flow through the Amazon basin are older than the Amazon River itself, having carved their paths through the landscape over tens of millions of years. The forest floor after heavy rain smells of petrichor, a compound released when rainwater strikes dry soil and organic matter. In a rainforest, this scent is deep, rich, and unlike anything found elsewhere on Earth. In some parts of the Congo Basin, the rainforest is so dense that satellites cannot see the ground beneath it. The canopy is, from above, completely impenetrable. The mountain gorilla lives in the cloud forests of Central Africa, where it spends most of its day quietly eating, consuming up to 30 kilograms of vegetation before nightfall. The mimic octopus, found in shallow tropical waters near rainforest coastlines, can alter its shape and movement to imitate at least 15 different species, including lionfish, flatfish, and sea snakes. Proboscis monkeys, found only in the rainforests of Borneo, are strong swimmers. They regularly cross rivers by leaping from branches and paddling with partially webbed feet. The sun bear of Southeast Asian rainforests has a tongue up to 25 centimeters long, evolved specifically to extract honey and insects from inside tree bark and bee nests. Mantis shrimp, found in coral reefs adjacent to tropical rainforests, can strike with the speed of a bullet. The force of the blow is enough to crack aquarium glass. The Matamata turtle of the Amazon lies motionless on the river bottom, covered in algae and leaf-shaped skin flaps, indistinguishable from the debris around it. Then it opens its enormous mouth, and the current does the rest. Orangutans construct a new sleeping nest every single night, bending and weaving fresh branches into a platform high in the canopy. They are among the only non-human animals to build a new bed each night. The fer-de-lance snake of Central and South America is responsible for more human snakebite deaths than any other snake in the Americas. It hunts at night and moves without a sound. Tree kangaroos live in the rainforests of New Guinea and northeastern Australia, moving through the canopy with unexpected grace for animals that evolved on the ground. The pygmy marmoset is the world's smallest monkey. It weighs about as much as a chicken egg and spends much of its life gnawing small holes in tree bark to drink the sap that flows out. Aye-ayes, nocturnal primates from Madagascar, locate insects hiding inside tree trunks by tapping rapidly on the bark and listening for hollow spaces. Then they use an elongated finger to pull the grub out. The black caiman of the Amazon can grow to over 5 meters in length, making it the largest predator in the entire Amazon River ecosystem. Chimpanzees in African rainforests have been observed making and using tools, fashioning sticks to extract termites, stones to crack nuts, and leaves to soak up drinking water. The olm, a blind cave salamander found near Mediterranean rainforest adjacent caves, can survive up to 10 years without eating. Its entire existence is calibrated to extreme patience. Bonobo societies in the Congo rainforest are led by females. They are among the most peaceful of the great apes, resolving conflicts through social bonding rather than aggression. The sandbox tree of the Amazon produces seed pods under such intense internal pressure that when they explode, the seeds are launched at over 240 kilometers per hour. Some rainforest ferns have been found growing in caves so deep that the only light reaching them is the faint glow of bioluminescent organisms on the walls around them. The dragon blood tree of Socotra Island grows in a shape like an open umbrella, its canopy designed to collect morning mist and channel it down toward its own roots. Corpse flowers bloom once every 7 to 10 years, and when they do, they generate their own heat, warming themselves to near human body temperature to help spread their rotting smell further. Some species of bamboo found at the edges of tropical forests grow up to 90 centimeters in a single day. If you watched closely enough, you could see it move. The Amazon water lily opens white at night and closes pink at dawn. It generates its own warmth and traps the beetles that pollinated inside overnight, releasing them in the morning, dusted with pollen. Many rainforest plants have evolved to taste, smell, or feel toxic when disturbed. Some release chemicals that travel through the air, warning neighboring plants to begin producing their own defenses. The monkey puzzle tree, native to the temperate rainforests of South America, has barely changed in 200 million years. Its ancestors were eaten by dinosaurs. Some tropical trees produce flowers directly from their trunks rather than from their branches, a strategy called cauliflory, designed to make pollination easier for ground-dwelling insects and animals. The traveler's palm of Madagascar stores large quantities of fresh rainwater at the base of each of its leaves. For anyone lost in the forest, it has historically been a reliable source of drinking water. Black pepper, cardamom, nutmeg, cloves, and cinnamon all originate from tropical rainforest plants. For centuries, the spice trade was essentially a trade in the rainforest's chemistry. Carnivorous sundew plant covers its leaves in droplets that look exactly like morning dew. Insects land on them and find themselves stuck, slowly digested over the course of several days. Epiphytes, plants that grow on other plants without harming them, make up nearly a third of all plant species in some tropical rainforests, covering every available surface of bark and branch. The kapok tree can grow to over 60 meters and produces seed pods filled with a silky fiber so light that it was once used as filling for life jackets. A single tree can release 17 million seeds in one season. Some rainforest plants have evolved leaves that are iridescent blue in low light, not for beauty, but to improve their ability to capture the scarce wavelengths of light that filter down to the forest floor. The jewel wasp of tropical rainforests injects venom directly into the brain of a cockroach, turning it into a passive, living host for its eggs. The cockroach remains alive throughout. Army ants in the Amazon do not build permanent nests. Instead, the colony itself becomes the nest, millions of ants linking their bodies together each night to form walls, chambers, and a living shelter around the queen. The Goliath bird-eater spider of the Amazon is the world's largest spider by mass. Its fangs are long enough to break human skin, and its body is covered in tiny barbed hairs. It can flick at threats. Rainforest fireflies have been found living at altitudes of over 3,000 meters, flashing in the cold air of cloud forest nights where no researcher expected them. The orchid mantis of Southeast Asia disguises itself as a flower, holding perfectly still while pollinators land on it. It is one of the few predators in nature that lures prey by pretending to be a reward. Some species of rainforest ants cultivate gardens of fungus that they have been farming continuously for over 50 million years, longer than humans have existed by an enormous margin. The hawk moth of Madagascar has a proboscis, a feeding tube 25 centimeters long. It was predicted to exist by Charles Darwin 30 years before anyone actually found one. Certain caterpillars in the Amazon have evolved markings on their rear ends that look precisely like the face of a large-eyed snake. The illusion viewed from a few meters away is nearly perfect. Weaver ants construct nests by pulling leaves together and using the silk produced by their own larvae as glue. The larvae, held between the ant's mandibles, are used as living tools. The peanut head bug of Central America has an enlarged, hollow head structure that resembles a peanut from the front and a lizard's head from behind. It uses both illusions depending on which direction the threat approaches. The sword-billed hummingbird has a beak longer than its own body. It is the only bird in the world whose bill exceeds its body length, and it evolved alongside a single flower with an equally extraordinary depth. Hornbills seal the female inside a tree hollow using mud, leaving only a small slit through which the male passes food. She remains inside for months, safe, while the eggs hatch and the chicks grow. The harpy eagle builds a nest large enough for a human to stand in and returns to the same nest for decades, adding new material each breeding season until the structure weighs hundreds of kilograms. Peters, small, jewel-colored birds of Asian and African rainforests, migrate thousands of kilometers each year between forest habitats, navigating by magnetic fields most other animals cannot detect. The sun bittern of Central and South America fans its wings when threatened, revealing large eye-spot markings that transform the bird instantly into something that looks far larger and more dangerous than it is. Palm cockatoos in Australian rainforests break off sticks and seed pods and drum them rhythmically against hollow trees. Researchers believe this is a form of musical performance, one of the only known examples in non-human animals. The cuckoo roller of Madagascar is the only member of its entire family. It has no close living relatives. It is, taxonomically speaking, entirely alone. Bowerbirds of New Guinea and Australia construct elaborate structures decorated with coloured objects, arranged with clear aesthetic intention. Some even create perspective illusions in their bowers using carefully graded objects. The potoo bird of Central and South America sleeps in plain sight, perching upright on a broken branch stump with its eyes closed and its feathers pressed flat, looking exactly like part of the dead wood. Some species of rainforest parrot have been recorded using over 80 distinct vocalizations to communicate. Researchers are only beginning to understand what each one means. The arapaima of the Amazon is one of the largest freshwater fish in the world, reaching nearly 3 meters in length. It breathes air, surfacing every few minutes, and can survive in water with almost no oxygen. Flooded Amazonian forests during the wet season become hunting grounds for fish that swim between the trees, eating fallen fruit. Some trees in the Amazon have evolved fruit specifically attractive to fish. The Amazon's meeting of the waters, where the dark Rio Negro meets the pale Rio Solimões, runs side by side without mixing for over 6 kilometers. The two rivers have different temperatures, speeds, and densities. Bull sharks have been found over 4,000 kilometers inland in the Amazon River, far further from the ocean than most people realize sharks can travel. The flower of one Amazonian water plant blooms for only a single night, opening at dusk and closing at dawn. By the second day, it has changed sex, becoming male to prevent self-pollination. Candiru fish in the Amazon are so small they are almost transparent. They navigate by detecting the chemical traces of other fish in the water, following currents with extraordinary precision. Freshwater stingrays in the Amazon can grow to over 1 meter across, lying flat on the riverbed, invisible against the sandy bottom, until something steps too close. The Congo River has been flowing in its current path for approximately 34 million years, long enough that the fish populations on opposite banks have evolved into entirely separate species. Some Amazonian fish can predict seasonal flooding weeks in advance, beginning their upstream migration before a single drop of new rain has fallen. The mata-mata turtle never actively pursues prey. It waits perfectly still on the riverbed. When a fish comes close enough, it expands its throat in a fraction of a second, creating a vacuum that pulls the fish inside. Fungi are the rainforest's great recyclers. Without them, the forest floor would be buried under centuries of accumulated dead matter within a few decades. The Ophiocordyceps fungus infects carpenter ants, hijacking their nervous systems and compelling them to climb to a precise height before dying. The fungus then grows from the ant's head, releasing spores onto the ants below. Some rainforest fungi glow in the dark through a chemical process called bioluminescence, emitting a continuous cold green light that has no fully agreed upon scientific explanation. A single teaspoon of rainforest soil contains more microorganisms than there are people on Earth. The ground beneath the forest is as complex and populated as the forest above it. Mycorrhizal fungi form partnerships with over 90% of all rainforest plant species, trading minerals from the soil for sugars the plant produces through photosynthesis. Certain fungi in tropical forests can decompose even plastic and synthetic materials, abilities that scientists are now studying for potential use in environmental cleanup. The largest living organism on Earth may not be an animal or a tree. In temperate rainforests in North America, individual honey fungus networks have been found covering nearly 10 square kilometers. Lichens, partnerships between fungi and algae, are often the first organisms to colonize bare rock in a rainforest landscape, beginning the slow process of building soil from nothing. Some rainforest mushrooms release their spores by generating their own miniature updraft, creating a convection current of warm air that carries the spores upward into the canopy. Slime molds move slowly across the rainforest floor, flowing around obstacles and solving maze-like problems as they search for food, without a brain, a nervous system, or a single cell that could be called a leader. In a rainforest at night, the air temperature drops only slightly, but the soundscape changes completely. The birds are gone, and in their place come the frogs, the moths, the nightjars, and the slow, patient hunters. The tarsier, a tiny primate of Southeast Asian rainforests, has eyes so large relative to its skull that they cannot move in their sockets. To look sideways, it must rotate its entire head, owl-like, in the dark. Some rainforest flowers release their scent only at night, saving their fragrance for the moths that will find them in darkness while the daylight pollinators sleep. The kinkajou moves through the canopy at night using a prehensile tail that can grip branches as securely as a hand, allowing it to hang upside down to reach fruit that nothing else can access. In the deep rainforest at night, the darkness is not merely the absence of light. It has a quality of its own, thick, warm, alive, and filled with sounds that have no names in any language spoken outside the forest. Spectral tarsiers in Sulawesi are one of the only primates known to be exclusively carnivorous, hunting insects, and small vertebrates with a precision that belies their size. The giant atlas moth has no functional mouth. It lives only a few days, sustained entirely by fat reserves built up during its time as a caterpillar, flying only to find a mate before its brief life ends. In some parts of the Amazon, indigenous night fishermen navigate rivers in total darkness by listening, reading the sound of the current, the calls of riverbank frogs, and the splash of fish feeding at the surface. Just before dawn, a phenomenon called the dawn chorus begins. Every bird that has been silent through the night begins to call at once, not gradually, but as if receiving a signal that only they can hear. The rainforest has existed through all of human history and long before it. It will still be here if we allow it long after. It holds within it things we have not yet discovered, languages we have not yet learned to hear, and a silence that, if you are patient enough, begins to speak. Rainforests cover only about 6% of the Earth's surface, but they are home to more than half of the world's plant and animal species. Just 6% of the land, and yet more than half of all life on Earth has found its home there. Tucked beneath those endless canopies, millions of creatures go about their quiet routines, sleeping, eating, resting, breathing, just like you are right now. The Amazon rainforest is the largest tropical rainforest on the planet. It stretches across 9 countries in South America and covers an area of about 5.5 million square kilometers. That's roughly the size of the entire continent of Australia. It is so vast that if it were a country, it would be the 7th largest on Earth. Rainforests are often called the lungs of the Earth. Through the process of photosynthesis, trees and plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. The Amazon alone produces about 20% of the world's oxygen. Every breath you take may carry a little piece of the Amazon inside it. Inside a rainforest, the air is incredibly humid. Moisture levels can reach up to 90% humidity. The trees themselves release water vapor through their leaves in a process called transpiration, and that moisture drifts upward and forms clouds. A rainforest quite literally makes its own weather. The rainforest floor is remarkably dark. Even in the middle of the day, less than 2% of sunlight reaches the ground. The dense, layered canopy above catches almost everything. Down on the forest floor, it is quiet and dim, a place of deep shadows and soft, filtered green light. Rainforests have 4 main layers: the emergent layer at the very top, where the tallest trees poke above the canopy. Then the canopy itself, a dense ceiling of leaves and branches. Below that is the understory, home to smaller trees and shrubs, and at the very bottom is the forest floor, where fallen leaves decompose and roots spread through the dark earth. The emergent layer can rise more than 60 meters above the ground. That's nearly as tall as a 20-story building. Trees up there must withstand strong winds and intense sunlight. They often have thick, waxy leaves to protect themselves from the elements. From up high, the view stretches in every direction over an endless sea of green. Some trees in the rainforest are so old they have been growing for more than 1,000 years. These ancient giants have survived floods, droughts, and countless storms. They have witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations. They simply stood and grew and breathed, century after quiet century. The canopy layer is one of the most biodiverse places on Earth. Most of the rainforest's animals live there, never descending to the ground at all. Some spend their entire lives in the treetops, sleeping, feeding, raising their young, all among the branches and leaves, high above the forest floor. Sloths are one of the most famous canopy dwellers. They spend up to 20 hours a day sleeping or resting. Sloths move so slowly that algae actually grows on their fur, turning them a faint greenish color that helps them blend into the treetops. They are perfectly content to simply hang there, barely moving, drifting through their quiet, unhurried lives. Because sloths move so slowly, their muscles generate very little heat. To conserve energy, they let their body temperature fluctuate with the surrounding air. On cooler days, they may become so sluggish they can barely move at all. They are masters of stillness, perfectly adapted to a life of deep, patient calm. There are approximately 40,000 plant species in the Amazon rainforest alone. Scientists estimate that a single hectare of Amazon rainforest, about the size of 2.5 football fields, can contain more than 750 types of trees and 1,500 types of higher plants. The sheer variety is almost impossible to imagine. Many rainforest plants have evolved enormous leaves to catch as much of the limited light as possible. The giant Amazon water lily, for example, has leaves that can grow up to 3 meters across, big enough for a small child to sit on. They float gently on the surface of still forest pools, broad and round, and perfectly calm. The Amazon River is the largest river in the world by volume of water. During the wet season, it carries so much water that its flow accounts for about 20% of all fresh water discharged into the world's oceans. The river swells and spreads, flooding the surrounding forest for months at a time, creating a vast, flooded world of half-submerged trees and silent water. When the Amazon floods, fish swim between the trees. During the wet season, the river can spread up to 30 kilometers beyond its banks, creating a flooded forest called the Varzea. Fish venture deep into the trees, eating fallen fruit and seeds. Some trees have even evolved to rely on fish to spread their seeds. The Congo rainforest in Central Africa is the second largest tropical rainforest in the world. It spans an area of about 3.3 million square kilometers across 6 countries. The Congo River, which runs through it, is the deepest river in the world, in some places reaching more than 200 meters deep. Tropical rainforests receive between 200 and 1,000 centimeters of rainfall per year. That's between 6 and 30 feet of rain annually. In some parts of the rainforest, it rains almost every single day. The sound of rain on leaves, layer after layer, creates a soft, continuous rhythm, a gentle percussion that has played for millions of years. Despite all that rainfall, the soil in a tropical rainforest is surprisingly poor in nutrients. The heavy rains wash nutrients away quickly. Instead of storing nutrients in the soil, the forest stores them in its own biomass, in the trees, leaves, roots, and creatures. The forest feeds itself, cycling nutrients endlessly through living things. A fallen tree in a rainforest can be completely decomposed in just a few weeks. Fungi, bacteria, insects, and countless other tiny organisms break it down so rapidly that the forest floor is swept remarkably clean. What was a massive tree becomes soil again almost overnight, and the nutrients it held return to the earth to feed new growth. Fungi play an enormous role in rainforest life. A network of fungal threads called mycelium weaves through the soil beneath a rainforest, connecting the roots of different trees. Through this network, trees can share nutrients and even chemical signals. Some scientists call it the wood wide web, a quiet, invisible system of communication beneath your feet. The Daintree rainforest in northeastern Australia is one of the oldest rainforests on Earth, estimated to be around 180 million years old. It was ancient before the dinosaurs disappeared. While the rest of the world changed dramatically around it, the Daintree simply continued growing, sheltering the same ancient families of plants and animals across the long sweep of geological time. Many rainforest animals are nocturnal, active at night and asleep during the day. Jaguars, tapirs, many species of frogs, and countless insects emerge after dark. The night rainforest fills with a symphony of calls and rustling, while the creatures that live in the daylight rest quietly in the shadows. Jaguars are the largest cats in the Americas and the third largest in the world. They are powerful swimmers and often rest near rivers and streams. Unlike most big cats, jaguars do not avoid water. They wade in, swim across, and lounge along the bank with a calm, unhurried confidence that suits the slow, heavy heat of the forest. The harpy eagle is one of the largest and most powerful birds of prey in the world. It lives in the rainforest canopy and hunts monkeys and sloths. Its talons are as large as a grizzly bear's claws. Despite its fearsome hunting ability, the harpy eagle spends a great deal of time perched completely still, watching, waiting, with immense patience and quiet intensity. Poison dart frogs are among the most brightly coloured animals on Earth. Their vivid reds, blues and yellows warn predators that they are toxic. Interestingly, most poison dart frogs raised in captivity away from the insects that provide the chemicals for their toxins lose their toxicity entirely. Their poison is borrowed from the forest itself. The rainforest floor is home to army ants, colonies that can contain up to 700,000 individuals. When the colony moves, it does so as a single living entity, a flowing river of ants that overwhelms everything in its path. But between raids, the colony rests, forming a living bivouac, a mass of ants, clinging to each other, forming a temporary nest with their own bodies. Leafcutter ants carry pieces of leaves many times their own body weight back to their nests, but they don't eat the leaves. They use them to grow fungi, which they then eat. A single leafcutter ant colony can harvest tons of vegetation each year. They are farmers, tending their underground gardens with quiet, tireless dedication. Morpho butterflies have wings that shimmer brilliant blue, but the colour isn't from pigment. It comes from microscopic structures on their wing scales that bend and reflect light. The colour shifts slightly as the butterfly moves, creating an iridescent glow that seems almost impossible in the green, shadowed world of the forest. Some orchid species in the rainforest have evolved to mimic female insects, luring male insects in to pollinate them without offering any reward. The insect arrives, finds no nectar, and eventually leaves, having pollinated the flower without realizing it. The orchid has perfected a quiet deception, patient and unhurried as a dream. There are more than 3,000 species of orchids in the Amazon alone. Orchids are the largest family of flowering plants on Earth, with over 25,000 known species. Many live as epiphytes, perched on the branches of other trees, gathering moisture from the humid air, their roots dangling freely in the gentle forest breeze. Epiphytes are plants that grow on other plants without harming them. They use their host only for support, gathering nutrients and water from the air and rain. Bromeliads, mosses, ferns, and orchids are all common epiphytes. In some rainforests, the weight of epiphytes growing on the branches of a single tree can exceed several tons. Bromeliads can hold pools of water in their central rosettes, little cups of still water high up in the canopy. These tiny pools support entire ecosystems. Mosquito larvae, tree frogs, small crabs, and insects all live and breed within a single bromeliad, a small pond in the palm of a plant hanging quietly in the trees. The glass frog is a small amphibian found in Central and South American rainforests. Its underside is completely transparent. You can see its beating heart, its digestive organs, even its bones through its translucent skin. It spends much of its life pressed against the undersides of leaves, so still and clear, it almost disappears. Recent research found that glass frogs actually pump most of their red blood cells into their liver when they sleep, making themselves nearly transparent. This acts as a form of camouflage, reducing their silhouette against a leaf and making them harder for predators to spot. Even their sleep is a quiet act of vanishing. Howler monkeys are the loudest land animals on Earth. Their calls can be heard up to 5 kilometers away through the dense forest. They howl at dawn and dusk to communicate with neighboring troops and establish their territory, but between those calls they spend hours quietly resting in the treetops, conserving energy in the heat of the day. Spider monkeys have prehensile tails strong enough to support their entire body weight. They swing through the canopy using all 4 limbs and their tail, moving with a fluid, effortless grace. When they rest, they drape themselves across branches, long limbs dangling, utterly relaxed, as if they were born comfortable. The rainforest is home to more species of bats than anywhere else on Earth. Bats in the rainforest fill roles as pollinators, seed dispersers, and insect controllers. Many species roost in the hollow trunks of old trees or beneath broad leaves during the day, hanging upside down in the cool, dim quiet, sleeping through the heat. Some rainforest bats have evolved to drink blood, the famous vampire bats. They feed mostly on large mammals like cattle and horses, making a small cut with their razor-sharp teeth and lapping up blood. They are so light and so careful in their feeding that their hosts often sleep right through it, entirely undisturbed. The okapi, a relative of the giraffe, lives in the Congo rainforest. It has a long prehensile tongue, up to 30 centimeters long, which it uses to strip leaves from branches and to groom itself. With its striped legs and deer-like body, the okapi went undescribed by Western science until 1901. The forest kept its secret well. The Brazilian tapir is one of the largest land mammals in South America. It is an excellent swimmer and often spends time cooling off in rivers and ponds. Tapirs are solitary and mostly nocturnal, wandering the forest at night along established paths called tapir trails, quiet, worn passages through the undergrowth used for generations. Piranhas live in many rivers throughout the Amazon basin. Despite their fierce reputation, piranhas are actually omnivores. and often scavenge more than they hunt. Schools of piranhas move through the murky water in loose formation, and in the dry season they can be found resting in calmer, shaded pools, waiting patiently for the waters to rise again. The electric eel is not actually an eel, but a fish, related to carp and catfish. It can generate electric discharges of up to 600 volts, which it uses to stun prey, navigate murky water, and communicate. Electric eels breathe air and must surface every few minutes. They spend most of their time resting on the muddy bottom of slow-moving streams. The Amazon River dolphin, also called the boto or pink river dolphin, is the largest of the freshwater dolphin species. It is pink, more brightly pink in older males, and navigates the flooded forest using echolocation. Unlike ocean dolphins, river dolphins can move their necks to look around, giving them a curious, almost thoughtful appearance as they drift through the dark water. The giant anteater roams the forest floor and savanna edges of South America. It has no teeth. Instead, its long, sticky tongue, which it can flick up to 150 times per minute, catches ants and termites. A giant anteater can eat up to 35,000 insects in a single day. After feeding, it curls up and sleeps with its big bushy tail wrapped around its body like a blanket. Giant otters live in the rivers and lakes of the Amazon. They are highly social and live in family groups of up to 9 individuals. At night, they return to a shared den on the riverbank, where they sleep together in a pile, their sleek bodies curled together, the sound of the river moving softly past them through the night. The green anaconda is the heaviest snake in the world. Females can weigh more than 200 kilograms and measure more than 8 meters long. They are ambush predators that spend most of their time partially submerged in shallow, slow-moving water, motionless, waiting. Their patience is extraordinary. They may lie still for days at a time. Camouflage is one of the most important survival strategies in the rainforest. Hundreds of species have evolved to blend perfectly into bark, leaves, moss, and shadows. The leaf-tailed gecko of Madagascar looks exactly like a dead, decaying leaf. The walking stick insect looks like a twig. The forest is full of creatures that survive by becoming invisible. The mimic octopus doesn't live in the rainforest, and it lives in tropical coastal waters nearby, but the concept of mimicry is everywhere in rainforest life. In the Amazon, the false coral snake mimics the coloring of the deadly true coral snake. A harmless species wears the colors of a dangerous one and survives because of it. There are more than 3,000 species of fish in the Amazon River system, more than in the entire Atlantic Ocean. Scientists are still discovering new ones. In the quiet depths of oxbow lakes and flooded forest pools, species swim that have never been formally described, leading lives entirely unknown to science. We are halfway through our journey through the rainforest. The forest around you is alive and breathing, trees exchanging gases with the air, insects moving through the leaves, water dripping from the canopy overhead. Somewhere, up in the branches, a sloth is hanging quietly, half asleep, completely at peace. You can rest now too, just like the sloth. The strangler fig begins its life high in the rainforest canopy when a bird deposits a seed in the fork of a branch. The seedling sends roots slowly downward year after year until they reach the soil. Over decades, the roots wrap around the host tree, gradually replacing it. Eventually, the host tree dies and decomposes, leaving the fig standing hollow, a living tower. Figs are among the most important fruits in the rainforest. More than 1,200 species of birds, mammals, and insects are known to eat fig fruit in various parts of the world. When figs ripen, they draw creatures from all directions: toucans, hornbills, monkeys, bats, and countless insects. For a brief time, the fig tree becomes the center of the forest world. Toucans are among the most recognizable rainforest birds, famous for their enormous, brightly colored beaks. Despite looking heavy, the beak is lightweight, made of a hollow honeycomb of bone. Toucans use their beaks to reach fruit on branches too thin to support their weight. At night, they tuck their beak under their wing and sleep curled inside hollow trees. Macaws are some of the most intelligent birds in the world. They mate for life and can live for more than 60 years. In the rainforest, flocks of scarlet macaws gather at clay licks, exposed riverbanks, where they eat mineral-rich clay that helps neutralize toxins in their diet. The sight of dozens of brilliant birds clinging to a clay cliff is one of the great spectacles of the Amazon. Parrots, macaws, and other Psittacine birds sleep communally in large roost trees. Hundreds of birds may gather in a single tree at dusk, chattering and settling themselves among the branches. Then, as darkness falls, the noise slowly fades, and the tree grows quiet, a living apartment building, every apartment occupied, all its residents finally still. The kinkajou is a small nocturnal mammal that lives in the rainforest canopy. Related to raccoons, it has a prehensile tail and honey-colored fur. Kinkajous feed on fruit and nectar, moving quietly through the trees at night. They sleep curled in tree hollows during the day, their round little bodies tucked neatly into the dark, warm wood. Capybaras are the world's largest rodents. They can weigh up to 65 kilograms, about the size of a large dog. They live in groups near rivers and lakes in South American rainforests and are extremely calm animals. They often sit peacefully in the water for hours to stay cool, with birds perching on their backs to eat insects from their fur. In the rainforest, mutualism, where two different species both benefit from their relationship, is everywhere. The clownfish and the sea anemone, the fig tree and the fig wasp, ants and acacia trees. The rainforest is built on these partnerships, millions of them, ancient arrangements of mutual dependence that stretch back millions of years. Acacia ants live inside the hollow thorns of certain acacia trees in a tight partnership. The tree provides them with food and shelter. In return, the ants fiercely defend the tree against any herbivore that tries to eat its leaves. They even cut away any vines or competing plants that grow near the tree. The tree and the ants look after each other. Pitcher plants in some rainforests have evolved deep, fluid-filled cups that trap and digest insects. The fluid inside is a soup of digestive enzymes. Some species have become large enough to trap small mammals and even rats, and yet inside some pitcher plants, certain species of mosquito larvae live happily in the digestive fluid, immune to its effects, feeding on the insects trapped alongside them. Carnivorous plants are relatively rare in the rainforest. They tend to thrive in nutrient-poor environments like peat bogs and highland moors, but where they do appear, they represent one of evolution's most dramatic experiments, a plant that has learned to feed on animals, quietly reversing the usual relationship between plant and creature. The corpse flower, Rafflesia arnoldi, produces the largest individual flower in the world, measuring up to 1 meter across. It has no leaves, stems, or roots of its own. It lives entirely within the tissue of a host vine. And when it blooms, it releases a powerful smell like rotting flesh to attract the flies that pollinate it. It blooms rarely, for only a few days, then fades away. The Amazon rainforest experiences a phenomenon called the flying rivers. Moisture transpired from the forest's trees drifts westward on the wind, forming invisible rivers of water vapor in the air that carry as much water as the Amazon River itself. These aerial rivers eventually fall as rain over the Andes and beyond, watering farmland and cities across the continent. The sounds of the rainforest follow a daily rhythm called the soundscape. At dawn, birds begin calling in overlapping waves, the dawn chorus. Through the day, insects dominate, a constant hum and buzz. At dusk, frogs take over, and at night, a different chorus of insects, bats, and night creatures fills the darkness. The forest never goes completely silent. Many rainforest frogs call at night to attract mates. Each species has its own call, a specific frequency, rhythm, and pattern. In a single night in a rainforest pond, dozens of species may be calling simultaneously, each one's song tuned precisely so that the females of its species can recognize it amid the noise. A symphony of specificity in the dark. The Tungara frog of Central America creates a foam nest for its eggs. The female releases a fluid that the pair whips into a froth, like meringue, which they deposit on the water's surface. The foam dries on the outside, protecting the eggs inside from drying out and from predators. The eggs hatch inside their soft, white, floating cradle. Some species of tree frog carry their tadpoles on their backs. The tiny tadpoles cling to the parent's skin, and the parent climbs to a bromeliad pool or other body of still water to deposit them there. The parent then visits each tadpole regularly, laying unfertilized eggs into the pool as food for the growing young. The cassowary is a large, flightless bird that lives in the rainforests of New Guinea and northeastern Australia. It is considered one of the most dangerous birds in the world. It has a dagger-like inner claw that can deliver a devastating kick. Despite this, cassowaries are shy and solitary. They wander the forest alone, eating fallen fruit, largely preferring to avoid conflict. The cassowary is also an essential seed disperser for the forest. It swallows large fruits whole and deposits the seeds, unharmed, in its droppings across a wide area. Many large seeded rainforest trees in Australia and New Guinea cannot regenerate effectively without the cassowary. The bird and the forest are quietly inseparable. Orangutans live in the rainforests of Borneo and Sumatra. They are highly intelligent and make a new sleeping nest every night, bending and weaving branches together to form a comfortable platform high in the canopy. Some orangutans even fashion pillows and blankets from folded leaves. They are remarkably thoughtful about their sleep. The word rainforest was first coined by a German botanist named Andreas Franz Wilhelm Schimper in 1898. He used the German word Regenwald, rainforest, to describe the dense, wet, tropical forests he was studying. Before that, these vast green worlds had no single name in Western science. They were simply the forest, ancient and unnamed, as they had always been. Tropical rainforests are found in a band around the equator, between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. This region is sometimes called the tropics, and it receives the most direct sunlight of anywhere on Earth throughout the year. The warmth and moisture in this band create the conditions for the most complex ecosystems the planet has ever produced. Not all rainforests are tropical. Temperate rainforests exist along certain cool, foggy coastlines where rainfall is extremely high. The Pacific temperate rainforests of North America, stretching from Northern California up through Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, and into Alaska, are among the largest temperate rainforests in the world. They are ancient, mossy, and draped in a permanent silvery mist. The Tongass National Forest in Alaska is the largest national forest in the United States and one of the largest intact temperate rainforests in the world. It receives up to 4 meters of rainfall per year and is home to enormous Sitka spruce trees, some of which are over 700 years old. The forest is perpetually damp, a world of grey and green, and the sound of rain. The Valdivian temperate rainforest in southern Chile and Argentina is one of the most isolated temperate rainforests on Earth. Cut off from other forest regions for millions of years, it has evolved many unique species found nowhere else. Ancient alerce trees grow there, relatives of the giant sequoia, and some individuals are more than 3,600 years old, making them among the oldest living things on the planet. In tropical rainforests, the temperature almost never drops below 20 degrees Celsius and rarely rises above 34. It is a world of perpetual warmth without the extremes of summer and winter that most of the world experiences. Seasons in the rainforest are defined not by temperature, but by rainfall, wet seasons and dry seasons, the rhythm of water, not heat. The soil of a rainforest is ancient. In some parts of the Amazon, the red and orange laterite soils have been forming for millions of years, slowly weathered from the bedrock over geological time. These soils are iron-rich and nutrient-poor. Almost everything valuable has been leached away by rain. But the forest has learned to feed itself, recycling nutrients so efficiently that very little is ever lost. Some of the richest soils in the Amazon are found at ancient human settlement sites. Indigenous people created a dark, fertile soil called terra preta, Portuguese for dark earth, by mixing charcoal, bone, and organic waste into the ground over centuries. Terra preta is extraordinarily fertile and self-regenerating, and scientists are still trying to fully understand how it was made. Before European contact, the Amazon was home to large, sophisticated civilizations. Researchers have found evidence of cities, roads, and agricultural systems beneath the forest canopy. The forest that appears wild and untouched today may in many places be growing over the ruins of settlements that were abandoned 500 years ago, reclaimed by roots and rain and time. The Amazon River has more than 1,100 tributaries, rivers that flow into it. 17 of those tributaries are more than 1,500 kilometers long. In the wet season, the river system expands enormously, and the boundary between river and land becomes uncertain. The water and the forest blur together into one vast, breathing, flooded world. The Rio Hamza, sometimes called the underground Amazon, is a slow-moving body of water that flows hundreds of meters beneath the Amazon River basin in the same general direction. It was discovered by Brazilian scientists in 2011 using data from deep wells drilled during oil exploration. It moves incredibly slowly, centimeters per year, a ghost river drifting silently through the deep rock. The Amazon basin was once an inland sea. About 100 million years ago, before the Andes Mountains rose to their current height, the area was flooded by a great, shallow ocean. As the Andes grew, the water was cut off from the Pacific and began draining eastward, eventually forming the Amazon River system. The river is, in a sense, the remnant of an ancient sea. River dolphins can detect objects using echolocation with extraordinary precision. The boto, the pink river dolphin, can navigate through the flooded forest, threading between tree trunks and submerged roots in near total darkness, using sound alone. Their calls bounce off objects and return as echoes that paint a detailed picture of the world around them. Manatees live in the rivers and flooded forests of the Amazon basin. They are large, slow, and extraordinarily peaceful animals, grazing on aquatic vegetation in the warm shallows. Manatees breathe air and must surface every few minutes, but they rest by simply sinking slowly to the bottom and lying there, perfectly still, rising to the surface every so often to breathe, then drifting back down. The arapaima is one of the largest freshwater fish in the world, reaching up to 3 meters in length and weighing up to 200 kilograms. It is an air breather. It must surface regularly to gulp air, and its distinctive rolling breath can be heard from the riverbank. In the dry season, arapaima sometimes get trapped in small oxygen-depleted pools, surviving by breathing air until the waters rise again. The forest floor of a tropical rainforest is one of the most active places in the world for decomposition. A single handful of leaf litter can contain tens of thousands of individual organisms: mites, springtails, nematodes, bacteria, fungi, all of them working, breaking things down, cycling matter back into the soil. The forest floor is never truly still. Termites are among the most important decomposers in the tropical rainforest. They break down dead wood and plant material, returning nutrients to the soil. Some termite mounds in tropical Africa and South America stand several meters tall and are extraordinarily sophisticated, with ventilation systems, fungal gardens, and internal temperature control. They are cities built by insects, lasting for decades. The Rafflesia flower, which produces the world's largest bloom, has no chlorophyll. It is completely parasitic. It cannot photosynthesize at all. It exists entirely as a network of threads woven through the tissue of a host vine, invisible for most of the year. Then, after months of slow development beneath the surface, a bud pushes through the vine's bark and swells into a flower up to 1 meter wide. Many rainforest trees have developed buttress roots, enormous flanges of wood that fan out from the base of the trunk like the fins of a rocket. Because the nutrient-rich soil is shallow, the roots spread wide rather than deep, and the buttresses provide stability for the massive trunks above. Some buttresses are taller than a person, creating winding corridors at the base of the great trees. Strangler figs are not the only plants that take over others. Climbing plants called lianas wrap around rainforest trees, using them as scaffolding to reach the light. A single large tree may be wrapped by dozens of lianas, connecting it to neighboring trees and creating highways through the canopy for monkeys and other animals that travel by vine. The world's largest flower cluster belongs to a plant called Amorphophallus titanum, the Titan arum. When it blooms, after years of storing energy underground, it produces a single enormous flower spike that can reach 3 meters tall. Like the Rafflesia, it smells powerfully of rotting flesh to attract pollinators. The bloom lasts only 1 or 2 days before collapsing entirely. There is a species of ant in the rainforest called the Dracula ant, Mystrium camilla, that has the fastest movement of any animal ever recorded. Its mandibles snap shut at speeds of up to 90 meters per second, faster than a bullet leaving a gun. The ant uses this snap to stun prey. In between hunts, it goes about its quiet business in the leaf litter, utterly unremarkable to look at. The bullet ant is named for the intensity of its sting, said by those who have experienced it to feel like being shot. It lives in the rainforests of Central and South America. The bullet ant's sting causes intense pain lasting up to 24 hours. Despite this, certain indigenous groups use the ants in coming-of-age ceremonies, weaving them into gloves that young men must wear for 10 minutes. Weaver ants in the rainforests of Africa and Asia build their nests by sewing leaves together. Worker ants hold the edges of leaves in place while other workers carry ant larvae back and forth along the seam, using the silk the larvae produce to stitch the leaves together. The nests hang in the trees like green lanterns, and the whole colony lives inside them, sleeping between the stitched leaves. In the rainforests of Southeast Asia, flying dragons, lizards of the genus Draco, glide between trees, using extended ribs covered in brightly colored skin. They can glide up to 10 meters. Males use their colorful throat fans and glide panels to signal to females and rivals. When they land, they fold everything away and press flat against the bark, becoming almost invisible. Wallace's flying frog, found in the rainforests of Borneo and Malaysia, has enormous webbed feet that it spreads to glide between trees. It can cover up to 15 meters in a single glide. Alfred Russel Wallace, co-discoverer of the theory of natural selection, found this frog in 1855, and his excitement at discovering a flying frog was evident in his writings. Alfred Russel Wallace spent 8 years exploring the rainforests of the Malay archipelago, traveling more than 22,000 kilometers and collecting over 125,000 specimens. His observations of species distribution, how different but related animals lived on different sides of a narrow strait, led him to develop his theory of evolution by natural selection, which he sent to Charles Darwin in a letter. The invisible line that divides the distinct animal communities of Asia and Australia in the islands of Southeast Asia is called the Wallace Line. On one side, tigers, elephants, and rhinoceroses. On the other, marsupials, cockatoos, and birds of paradise. The two worlds are separated by a narrow stretch of deep ocean that even during the last ice age remained too wide for land animals to cross. Birds of paradise live in the rainforests of New Guinea and northeastern Australia. The males have evolved some of the most extravagant plumage and courtship displays in the animal kingdom. Some clear small dance floors on the forest floor and perform elaborate, precisely choreographed routines for hours. Each species has a completely different display, perfected over millions of years of quiet, competitive pressure. The superb bird of paradise has such a low ratio of females to males in its population that competition is extraordinarily fierce. Males spend hours every day practicing and performing their displays. When a female approaches, the male snaps his iridescent breast shield and head feathers into a near-perfect circle of blue-green, creating the illusion of a floating alien face in the dim forest light. Lyrebirds found in Australian rainforests can mimic almost any sound they hear with extraordinary accuracy, not just other birds but chainsaws, camera shutters, car alarms, and crying babies. They incorporate these sounds into their calls. A lyrebird singing at dawn in a rainforest may produce a medley of sounds collected over years, a living archive of everything it has heard. The male bowerbird builds an elaborate structure called a bower to attract females, not a nest, but purely a stage for display. Some species build arched tunnels of woven grasses and decorate them with hundreds of carefully chosen objects: blue bottle caps, berries, flowers, shells. The bird arranges these objects with genuine aesthetic consideration, often reorganizing them repeatedly. Satin bowerbirds have a strong preference for the color blue. Males collect any blue object they can find and place it in their bower. When blue objects are scarce, they have been observed painting the walls of their bower with crushed blueberries, using a piece of bark held in the beak as a brush. They are, among all birds, some of the most deliberate makers of beauty. The cloud forests of Costa Rica are home to one of the world's most studied and beloved amphibian communities. The golden toad, a brilliant, jewel-like orange species, lived in a tiny area of cloud forest and was last seen in 1989. It is considered one of the first species whose extinction was definitively linked to climate change. The forest it lived in still stands, but the toad is gone. More than 40% of all amphibian species in the world are threatened with extinction, many of them rainforest species. A water mold called chytrid fungus has devastated frog populations worldwide. But researchers have found that some frog species are developing resistance to the fungus, and in some areas where populations crashed, frogs have slowly, quietly begun to return. Some rainforest frogs can survive being frozen solid. Wood frogs in the temperate rainforests of North America can freeze completely during winter. No heartbeat, no breathing, no brain activity, and thaw out in spring, hop away, and carry on their lives. They do this by flooding their cells with glucose, which acts as an antifreeze, protecting the cells from ice damage. The olm is a cave-dwelling salamander found in the underground rivers beneath the karst landscapes of the Balkans, near the edges of temperate European forests. It is completely blind, lives in total darkness, and can survive without food for up to 10 years. Olms live for more than a century and barely move, spending most of their extraordinarily long lives in a state of patient, cool stillness. Caiman are the South American relatives of crocodiles. Spectacled caiman gather in enormous numbers in drying pools during the dry season, hundreds of them piled on top of each other in the shrinking water, waiting with remarkable patience for the rains to return. From the air, a crowded caiman pool in the dry season looks like a patch of living, breathing, prehistoric rock. The black caiman is the largest predator in the Amazon. It can grow over 5 meters long and is capable of taking prey as large as a capybara or even a small cow. But black caimans spend the majority of their lives almost entirely still, floating at the surface of dark rivers or lying on muddy banks, conserving energy, moving only when food presents itself. Giant river turtles, the arrau turtle, were once so numerous in the Amazon that their nesting beaches would blacken with hundreds of thousands of animals. Early European explorers described rivers choked with turtles. Their eggs and oil were harvested in vast quantities, and their numbers collapsed. Today, conservation efforts are slowly helping populations recover on protected river beaches. Sea turtles are not rainforest animals, but many species nest on tropical beaches at the edge of coastal rainforests. The female crawls ashore at night, digs a nest in the sand, lays her eggs, and returns to the sea. Weeks later, the hatchlings emerge in darkness and make their way toward the light of the water. The rainforest watches from the tree line, the sand still warm, the sea waiting. The potu is one of the most peculiar birds of the Amazon rainforest. It is nocturnal and spends its days perched on a broken tree branch, perfectly still, its cryptic brown and grey plumage making it look exactly like a continuation of the wood. It sits for hours without moving, eyes half closed, barely distinguishable from the branch it sits on. The potu is a master of doing absolutely nothing. The common potu has enormous yellow eyes which it closes to narrow slits during the day to avoid reflecting light and giving away its position. Even through those slits, researchers have found potus can still monitor their surroundings. They see everything, give nothing away, and remain perfectly, serenely still through the long, bright hours of the tropical day. The oilbird of South America roosts and nests in the deep darkness of caves, navigating using echolocation like a bat. It is the only nocturnal, fruit-eating bird in the world. Thousands of oilbirds may nest in a single cave, their haunting, rasping calls echoing from the walls. When they leave at night, they pour out of the cave entrance in a dark, swirling stream. Hotsin chicks, the young of a strange, prehistoric-looking bird of the Amazon, are born with claws on their wing joints. This allows them to climb around in the branches before they can fly. If a predator approaches the nest, the chick drops into the water below, swims to safety, and then climbs back up using those wing claws. The claws disappear as the bird matures. The Hotsin itself is a uniquely strange bird. It digests its food like a cow, through fermentation in a large crop rather than a proper stomach. This gives the bird a powerful, musty smell that has earned it the local nickname stinkbird. It is slow-moving, clumsy in flight, and spends most of its time sitting heavily in riverside bushes, smelling like a compost heap, utterly unbothered. Sun-bittens are elegant, cryptically patterned birds that live along rainforest streams in Central and South America. Normally they are quiet and unobtrusive, but when threatened, they suddenly spread both wings fully, revealing enormous, startling eye spots, bright orange, yellow, and black, that transform the bird into a terrifying false face. The display lasts a second, then the wings fold, and the bird is demure again. Cock of the rock are brilliantly coloured birds found in the Andean cloud forests. Males gather at communal display sites called leks, where they bob, flutter, and pose in their vivid orange or red plumage, competing for the attention of the quietly watching females. A lek full of displaying cock of the rock birds, seen through the green filtered light of the cloud forest, looks almost unreal. Some rainforest plants are pollinated exclusively by a single animal species. The Brazil nut tree, for example, can only be pollinated by large-bodied bees, specifically orchid bees, that are strong enough to lift the heavy hood of the flower to access the nectar inside. No orchid bee, no pollination, no Brazil nut. The entire nut industry depends on a single bee. 50 facts through our journey, and the forest is still stretching in every direction around you, impossibly deep and full. Somewhere out there, a jaguar is resting on a riverbank, its spotted coat dappled by filtered light. Somewhere, a sloth is asleep. The forest hums with life, but it is a soft hum, the hum of a million sleeping things, a million quiet breaths. Rest like the forest rests, deeply and without hurry. Brazil nuts don't actually come from Brazil alone, they are found throughout the Amazon basin. But here is the remarkable thing: Brazil nut trees cannot be cultivated on plantations. They only grow and produce fruit in intact, undisturbed forest as part of a complex web that includes the orchid bee, a particular orchid the bee depends on, and the agouti, a large rodent, which is the only animal whose teeth are strong enough to open the hard seed pod. The agouti is a medium-sized rodent with large, chisel-like front teeth. It buries Brazil nuts for later consumption, as a squirrel might bury acorns, and regularly forgets where it has hidden them. The forgotten caches germinate into new trees. The agouti is, inadvertently, one of the most important tree planters in the Amazon. It plants the future of the forest, one forgotten nut at a time. Peccaries are pig-like mammals that travel through the Amazon in large herds, sometimes numbering in the hundreds. They move through the forest noisily, turning over leaf litter and disturbing the soil, which helps plant seeds germinate. After they pass, the forest settles back into quiet. Their trails through the undergrowth are used by other animals for generations. Giant armadillos are the largest armadillos in the world, weighing up to 30 kilograms. They dig enormous burrows in the forest floor that they use for sleeping and shelter. Other animals, tapirs, peccaries, snakes, and many small mammals regularly use abandoned giant armadillo burrows for their own shelter. The giant armadillo digs the homes that much of the forest depends on. Maned wolves, although they look like long-legged foxes, are not closely related to either wolves or foxes. They are their own unique species found in the open forests and grasslands bordering the Amazon. Maned wolves are solitary, shy, and largely nocturnal. They have a highly varied diet: fruits, insects, small mammals, and their urine smells distinctly of cannabis, though the two are unrelated. The giant otter shrew of the Congo Basin is not a true otter or shrew, but a remarkable swimming insectivore with waterproof fur and a laterally flattened tail for steering. It hunts in fast-moving forest streams at night. Almost nothing was known about it for decades. It is one of many Congo Basin species that remain poorly studied, living their quiet lives largely beyond the reach of science. The okapi was known to local Congolese people. The Mbuti people called it oapi long before Western science became aware of it. The Mbuti used its striped skin for clothing and traded strips of it with neighboring groups. When European naturalists finally described it formally in 1901, it was with the help of these traditional accounts and a piece of skin obtained through local trade. Forest elephants of the Congo Basin are genetically distinct from savanna elephants and were only recognized as a separate species in 2001. They are smaller, with rounder ears and straighter tusks. They move through the dense forest in smaller family groups than their savanna relatives and are extraordinarily shy, melting away silently into the trees at the slightest disturbance. Forest elephants are vital ecosystem engineers in the Congo. They push over small trees, open clearings, spread seeds in their dung, and carve paths through the undergrowth that other animals follow. Their impact on the structure of the forest is so significant that scientists believe the Congo rainforest would look fundamentally different without them. Western lowland gorillas live in the rainforests of Central and West Africa. Every evening they build a new sleeping nest by bending and layering vegetation into a springy platform. Young gorillas sleep in the nest with their mothers until they are old enough to build their own. Silverback males, the dominant males, build particularly large, comfortable nests on the ground. They sleep deeply and at length. Gorillas are predominantly gentle and social. A gorilla family group spends much of the day feeding slowly and resting together. Infants play while adults groom each other, sitting in comfortable proximity in a shaft of forest light. In the late afternoon, the group moves to a sleeping site, nests are built, and as dusk falls, the rainforest settles around them. Chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, also live in the rainforests of Central and West Africa. Like gorillas, they build nests every night. Chimps have been observed carrying favored sleeping materials and soft leaves, moss, to their nest sites, apparently selecting for comfort. They fall asleep within minutes of lying down, sleeping deeply through the tropical night. Bonobos, the other species of chimpanzee found only in the Congo Basin south of the Congo River, are known for their peaceful social structures. Bonobo societies are female-dominated, and conflict within groups is resolved through social bonding rather than aggression. Among the great apes, bonobos are perhaps the most consistently calm and affiliative, a gentle presence in a green world. Mandrills are the world's largest monkeys and live in the rainforests of Central Africa. Males have brilliantly coloured faces, vivid blue and red, that intensify with age and social rank. Despite their dramatic appearance, mandrills are forest creatures that spend their time quietly foraging through the leaf litter for fruit, seeds, fungi, and insects in large foraging groups. Drills, closely related to mandrills, are among the most endangered primates in the world. They live in a tiny range of rainforest in Cameroon, Nigeria, and the island of Bioko. They move quietly through the forest in groups of up to 100, foraging during the day and sleeping in trees at night. Very little is known about their behavior in the wild. Galagos, also called bush babies, are small nocturnal primates found in the forests of Africa. Their enormous eyes gather light efficiently in the dark, and their oversized ears swivel independently to locate insects by sound. They leap between branches with extraordinary speed and precision. During the day, they sleep in dense vegetation or tree hollows, sometimes in small groups, curled tightly together. The aye-aye of Madagascar is one of the most unusual primates in the world. It is nocturnal, with huge, round eyes, enormous ears, and an extraordinarily long, thin middle finger that it uses to tap on wood and locate grubs inside by sound, then extract them through a hole it gnaws with its ever-growing front teeth. The aye-aye is considered an omen of misfortune in some Malagasy traditions. Madagascar is often called the eighth continent of biodiversity. Although it broke away from mainland Africa about 90 million years ago, it has developed an extraordinary wealth of unique life. More than 90% of its wildlife exists nowhere else on Earth. The island's rainforests, particularly in the east, hold lemurs, chameleons, and thousands of plant species that evolved in isolation across the millennia. Chameleons are among Madagascar's most famous inhabitants. They change colour not primarily for camouflage, but to regulate body temperature and communicate with each other. The colours shift in seconds, from brown to green to vivid yellow or red. At rest, a chameleon clamps itself to a branch with its tongue-like feet and curls its tail, becoming as still as the branch itself, eyes swiveling slowly in their independent sockets. The Parsons chameleon of Madagascar is the largest chameleon in the world, reaching up to 70 centimeters in length. It lives for up to 30 years and moves through the forest with characteristic slowness, placing each foot with deliberate care before shifting its weight. Everything about the Parsons chameleon suggests patience, a slow, thoughtful animal in no hurry at all. Geckos are among the most diverse lizard groups in the world, and tropical rainforests are home to hundreds of species. Many are nocturnal, emerging after dark to hunt insects. Their eyes have vertical pupils that expand enormously in the dark. Their feet are lined with millions of microscopic hairs that allow them to cling to smooth surfaces through van der Waals forces. No glue, no suction, just molecular attraction. The satanic leaf-tailed gecko of Madagascar has evolved to look so precisely like a dead, brown, curling leaf that it is almost impossible to detect clinging to a branch. It even has notches along the edges of its body that mimic the pattern of insect damage on a real leaf. It spends the day pressed flat and motionless, a leaf among leaves, invisible by being absolutely still. Vine snakes are slender, almost impossibly thin snakes found in rainforests across the tropics. They drape themselves among vines and twigs, their long, narrow bodies and green or brown coloring making them virtually indistinguishable from the vegetation. They move in a slow, swaying motion that mimics a vine in a breeze. A vine snake resting is already dressed for sleep, perfectly blended, perfectly still. Flying snakes of Southeast Asia, species of the genus Chrysopelea, can launch themselves from the tops of trees and glide up to 10 meters through the air by flattening their bodies into a concave shape and undulating from side to side. They can steer in mid-air, landing precisely on a distant branch. After landing, they fold themselves back into a normal snake shape and continue as if nothing remarkable had happened. The emerald tree boa of the Amazon coils itself on branches during the day in a characteristic posture, looped in a neat coil with its head resting in the center, that is almost identical to the posture of the green tree python in the rainforests of New Guinea and Australia. A striking example of convergent evolution. Two snakes on opposite sides of the planet arrived at the same perfect resting shape. Convergent evolution, where unrelated species independently evolve similar traits in response to similar pressures, is extraordinarily common in rainforests. The sugar gliders of Australia and the flying squirrels of Asia, the anteaters of South America and the pangolins of Africa. Different animals, different continents, the same quiet solution to the same quiet problem. Pangolins are the world's only scaled mammals. Their overlapping keratin scales protect them from predators. When threatened, a pangolin curls into a tight ball, tucking its vulnerable face under its armored tail. They are nocturnal, solitary, and extraordinarily elusive. A pangolin moving through the leaf litter at night is one of the most rarely witnessed sights in the forest. The sun bear of Borneo has an extraordinarily long tongue, up to 25 centimeters, and a uniquely shaped chest patch of orange-yellow fur that gives it its name. It is the only bear species to live entirely in tropical rainforest, never needing to hibernate because food is available year-round. It sleeps in nests in the trees, waking occasionally to forage, then returning to its high, warm platform. Fireflies are found in many tropical and subtropical rainforests. In certain forests in Southeast Asia, thousands of fireflies synchronize their flashing, entire trees pulsing on and off in unison. The synchronization isn't coordinated by any leader. Each firefly adjusts its flash timing in response to its neighbors, and the result emerges spontaneously. A whole tree of light, breathing together in the dark. Many of the world's most important food crops originated in rainforests or their edges. Cacao, from which chocolate is made, comes from the understory of the Amazon. Coffee originated in the forests of Ethiopia. Bananas, pineapples, avocados, vanilla, and cassava all trace their wild origins to tropical forest environments. The rainforest is the pantry the world has been drawing from for 10,000 years. And so we come to rest. For tens of millions of years, the rainforest has been breathing, long before the first human ever opened their eyes. Its canopy has held the morning fog, its rivers have carried the rains of ancient storms, its soil remembers every creature that has ever slept beneath its leaves. Tonight, somewhere deep in that green world, a jaguar is settling into stillness. A tree frog is calling softly into the dark. 1,000 insects are singing you toward sleep. The same rain that falls on those distant leaves has fallen for millions of years, cycling through clouds, through rivers, through roots. And now it falls gently on you too. You are made of the same water, the same air, the same ancient light that built every leaf and every living thing. Rest now. Let the forest breathe for you. It has been doing so for longer than memory. Good night.